Peace. My name is MystyMoon, and I am an integrative health coach for women. And my purpose is to help women heal physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And today we'll be addressing the mental aspect of healing through affirmations. What are affirmations? Are they just fluffy words that we say, or is there a science behind them? And that's what we'll be talking about today in this next Womb Wisdom. All right, let's get to it. So affirmations are words of power. It's something that you affirm, a statement that you affirm. It's a way that you change your mindset. It's a way to uplift yourself. It's a way of kind of like casting spells in a sense. It's using words to evoke a certain type of emotion or train of thought. And I began using affirmations. I was introduced to affirmations, I would have to say in 2001 through Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. And in this book, no matter what you're dealing with, if it's depression, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're dealing with toxic relationships, there was a particular affirmation for each one of those. And I played around with it over the years, but it didn't really quite work for me. But it wasn't until I started getting into the science of affirmations that something shifted. So, what do I mean by that? What I'm referring to is something extraordinary called neuroplasticity. Neuro means brain, and plasticity means to shape or to mold. And in this science, it has been proven that by changing our thoughts, we can literally shift the brain chemistry in our minds. So, let's see if I can break this down the best way I can. So, within the brain anatomy, we have what's called neurons. Those are brain cells. And so neurons fire off messages through the neurotransmitters. And that pathway, it's like a highway, is called the neural pathway, right? So those pathways are created through your thoughts. So if you have a dominant thought that I'm not good enough, I'm, never gonna succeed, I'm never gonna accomplish my goals, nobody likes me, then those thoughts what creates that pathway. And then all the other thoughts that you think are just kind of like on the sideline, and eventually they get cut off, and it's just the dominant thoughts that rule that neural pathway. And then the neural pathway is connected to your nervous system. So when you think the thoughts, I'm not good enough, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know what I'm doing, then that creates a chemical reaction of adrenaline and of cortisol. And those are all hormones or neurotransmitters, that creates anxiety in the body. Okay, so the good news is that if you start using affirmations such as I'm good enough, I can do it, this might be difficult, but I can figure it out, I can always ask for help. If you do those long enough, then you actually reconstruct that neural pathway in a way that works for you. And then the neurotransmitters that gets triggered are dopamine and serotonin, like all the good neurotransmitters that makes us feel positive. Now, there was a scientific research that was done by a group of psychologists where they had a group of clients or group of patients, and they measured their hippocampus, and that is part of the brain that controls, that processes emotions. And for people who are depressed or have anxiety, or mostly depressed anxiety, but there's our other mental illnesses as well, but depression specifically, that hippocampus is small, okay? So what they notice is that over an 8-week time period, just through talk therapy with this group of people, after that 8-week time frame, that hippocampus grew. Just from talk therapy. So that just goes to show that affirmations do work, that they're not just these fluffy words. But this is a thing. You can't just read them and expect for there to be a shift. You have to believe it. You have to feel it within your body. You have to affirm it. That's why it's called an affirmation, right? And so that was my experience with affirmations. Once I really started saying them with conviction and with authority, and feeling it into my body and feeling a change, and there's like a chemical reaction within my body, that's when things really started to shift. And the way that I look at affirmations, they're like your sword, right? Because you're fighting off these negative belief systems. Because keep in mind that these negative thoughts that we have, it's taken them years to accumulate and get locked into our neural pathway. So we have to reverse engineer our neural pathways in order to get to a place of positivity and sustainable happiness. But it's going to take work because those fuckers are sneaky. Because just when you think you get up in the morning, you do your affirmations, you're like, yeah, I'm feeling good, something comes up. And it just like that, you can get triggered right back into a default. So if you do it every single day, like more than what I personally do, I have my alarm set for 12 o'clock, for 3 o'clock, and for 6 o'clock. When that alarm goes off, I take a break for 5 minutes. Depending on what I'm working on, I'll do my affirmations for 5 minutes every single day. And ever since I've been doing that, there's a shift. And it takes time. Like there's sometimes I can still feel those little triggers. But when I feel those triggers, I'll just say a couple of affirmations just to rebuke them in the name of whatever. So yes, use affirmation as your sword. And I guarantee you, if you do it diligently, you will experience a shift. It's proven through neuroplasticity. That just says it all right there. So again, that's just confirmation that we have the power to change. We can change the person that we are. We can become a completely different person if we choose to, but it's just going to take work. That's the key. But know that it is possible. So that's my message. I just love this topic. When I first learned about neuroplasticity, I was like, holy moly. It was just like discovering a new planet, because it just goes to show that we all have a fighting chance to heal ourselves no matter what. I mean, if you're trying to lose weight, the reason why that you're overweight because you have a belief system about you not being good enough, or that you need to have food to numb out. So if you change that belief system, then you know that you're good enough, and then you won't need to have food to suppress whatever those negative emotions are. So it could be anything. Toxic relationships, procrastination, trying to manifest something. It all comes down to our belief systems every single time. It always comes down to that. So know that there is a science out there called neuroplasticity that confirms that we can change our beliefs and heal ourselves. So that's my message today. I hope this helped in some level, and I'm sending you all love and light. If you need any support from me, you know where to find me. My information's in the description. I'll be more than happy to hold space and help you shift out of whatever it is that you're going through. All right, well, until then, have a beautiful day. Peace.